Back out here at Springwoods, Joshua Cook, now here with the head coach of the Springwoods men's soccer team, Wode Yaya. Just talk about last year, regional finals, you get there, you fall short to Elsig. What did y'all learn from that match?
Oh, man. We learned that we get our hearts broken a lot. That was a tough loss. We were up 2-0, and then they came back and scored 3 goals in the second half. It's funny. I think when we came back this year, the very first thing I told them is that we were not going to talk about last year. And and it's kind of been that way. I think this is what's kind of made so far this season a lot of fun, and why we're just so super excited. We've got a great core of seniors this year. Probably the best senior group I've had in probably about 6 or 7 years, mixed with a good 5 or 6 underclassmen that I've moved up to varsity. And we got a small group this year. Still learning to play with a lot of chemistry, but it's just been a lot of fun, and they're just ready to go. So
I'm sure suffering the loss they did last year fueled them in the offseason. Did you see any difference in the offseason? Did that kind of something click?
I did. So one of the things that I really noticed is that with the seniors that came back this year, they were a big core from last year. So, usually when you got a group that falls short, their mentality is like, we're seniors this year, we got to go out big. And so, one of the things that we did this year is we really upped our strength training. So we've got a really good strength coach here on campus, and he's worked a lot with them. So our boys have gotten stronger, which has helped a lot with their endurance. So in regards to that, I think now tied into what they're mentally prepared for. They're shooting for the stars this year. This year they know that this is our year. It's got to be our year, and so I think they're mentally ready. They're prepared. Like we're ready. Like we're ready just to get going.
You just have had all off season to sit there and think about it, and now it's finally ready to go.
It is. It's like when you just sit around and you're just waiting to do something, and you're just like, oh my God, when is it finally going to get here? And now that the season's here, we're just we got some scrimmages to kind of finish out, and then boom, we hit the tournaments and then district, and then next thing you know, it's March and it's playoff time. So like that's kind of what our vision is, and we're just kind of itching right now. We're just ready to go.
This is your 15th season here as a head coach. What makes Springwoods High School special as you've been here for 15 years?
We had this conversation every day, and we had it again just recently. I think the best part about just our program in general and just soccer here in general is that soccer is Springwoods High School. And on top of that, like when you come to a game here, like it's not just the students or our administration or our teachers that come and support us. You see people from around the community. You see a lot of my players, obviously their parents, but you see former alumni that come out here. You see people driving down Gessner, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's a game going on at Springwoods," and they'll park their car and they'll come and watch a game. And it's even for a scrimmage that we had last week, it was packed. It's just when soccer season rolls around, it's just a different type of atmosphere, and so it's a culture. And I think that's what the guys always say: it's culture, it's tradition. This is kind of how the way it is.
Finally, who are some guys that people need to watch for on this team? I mentioned you have a really solid group of seniors. I know you probably won't mention them all, but a couple guys who are going to be key this year.
Am I going to say anything? No, I'm just kidding. It's hard because I think this year I could pinpoint different players, and I just think this year this is just a really good team. Like it just really is. If I'm going to talk about players, I'll talk about like Walter Constanza, who's our center back. He's been here all 4 years. He's just a dynamic player. He was a player that as a freshman started as a marking back and then became a center back. His sophomore year, and has just kind of grown into it. I know some other players I'd like to shout out to would be like Enoch Escalante, who's our center mid, who's just technically just impeccable. He's just awesome. And then our forward number 9, Charlie. He was our leading scorer last year, but he's just a hardworking kid. He's just a hard work mentality. Edgar Gonzalez in our midfield is also another player that I think he's just a really good number 6 midfielder for us. And then Jason Martinez is our number 7 outside mid. The kid is just fast. He's hungry. He works hard. He gets up. He takes good shots. I mean, but the balance of the team in general, I think there's just every player that plays on this team has an important role, and I think that's why I just think everyone is just important. Like I could pinpoint certain players, but I think anybody that's on this team this year has an important role, and they're all good players. So.
All right, well, Springwood Soccer, they made it to the regional finals last year. They want to get back there, but then they want to punch their ticket to Georgetown. Coach, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.